what do we have here? Somebody is off the left. Training feels okay. I'm gonna flush the fluid one more time, but if you're here for what the thumbnail says, I haven't made it yet, so I'm not sure, then you're here to see this. Do we know what this is? Yes, we do. So this is a 95 Impala Super Sport. I bought it in 97, and it's got 41,000 when I bought it. I got 45,000 on it now. Originally a black car, was in an accident, so I had the guy repaint the whole car. If I do repaint this car, I'm going to go back to black, so this way it's original. But why are we here? Well, why are we here? Well, let's see. I haven't made a thumbnail yet, and I know I only got like 10 people that watch the channel, but I appreciate it. So this is what we're looking for right here. We're looking for this one. Thanks, Ted. So this is NOS. Oh, maybe I'll just make it like that. Click, click. I should take a picture of that. Oh, that might be the thumbnail. Let's see. Yeah, let's pause it. All right, so we're gonna probably have this as our thumbnail. I'm not sure yet, because you know what? I'm not a video guy. Like, look, I already got the car on the lift. I already drained the antifreeze. This box is actually AC Delco, and it's brand new. And I'm gonna say it's probably. Oh, here we go. Let's see if they have a date code on this. Order number. Oh, look at this date right here. 090706. So this is almost a 20-year distributor sitting in the box. But I got it about 3 years ago, and let's put it together. And this is what it looks like. So this is a brand new Opti Spark from GM, and I just put grease on it the other day when I moved it. So you're gonna have 4 plugs on this side, 4 plugs on that side. Coil goes here. Something else goes here to power the Opti Spark, and then a vacuum line goes here. And when we put this in the car, we have to make sure that this sits correctly in that fitting, or otherwise it will not be right. It's too bad GM didn't elongate these holes a little, so that you can actually, if they elongated these 3 holes, you can actually just move the distributor like a couple of degrees to give yourself a little more power. Maybe, you know, set it up. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is, surprisingly, the crank seal is not leaking after I changed it. So you know, I never even finished up on the Firebird video. I changed this crank seal on the Firebird video, and I replaced the seal, and I had this piece you can't take apart. I'm actually not going to have to take this piece out to do the distributor. Okay, so this piece here is not going to have to come out. Where if I needed to put a new seal in it, yeah, then it would have to come out. So if you look at my numbers from when I previously did this, you could see 5, 3, 7, and 1, 4. I'm guessing this is 6, this is an 8, and that's a 2 on the passenger side. So the water pump's got to come out. The hose is got to come off. I took the belt tensioner off because I just want to clean it up. I want to clean this, and then I also noticed that this bolt that held this tensioner in was not tight enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my installer I just made for this in formula, and I'm going to put it in here and tighten this up more, see if it needs to be pushed in. And surprisingly, the oil pan is not leaking, but if you look back here, what does that look like to you? That looks like rear main seal. So we might have a another transmission video, which I really don't want to do. Look, it's 3 bolts here, it's 3 bolts there, it's 5 bolts here, 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there. I just don't want to do it. That's why I didn't want to do the formula. I didn't even want to do that formula job because of the exhaust manifolds. But do I send it to a shop and have them do it, and then someone screws it up, where I could just spend 8 hours of my day and do it and I know it's done correctly? So all right, so we are not getting anything accomplished. What is our ultimate goal now? Ultimate goal is to pull the spark plug wires off. So let's put some labels on them so we know which is which. And I'm going to take a picture of them. And we need to get the water pump out of the way. So we're gonna have to drop it down. Let's drop this girl down so we get the water pump out. Water pump out from the top is probably the easiest thing to do. Although, if this sway bar was out of the way, man, this would be simple to pop it out of the way here. Look at that, how much rust is on that water pump. Not even that old. All right, let's stop critiquing China and let's get to work. All right, so air cleaner comes off in 2 pieces. 1, 2, and one end goes into the mass airflow, one end goes into the throttle body. So at some point in the car's life, I put this piece in here to help with the air, and I got rid of this little piece here and I went with the Impala emblem. And I got an MSD coil in it, and it's got new plugs in it. And this car is a cast iron head car, not an aluminum head car. So that's where GM robbed horsepower out of this LT1. So if you do an LT4 cam and you put in the aluminum heads like the Corvettes have, you pick up some good horsepower. So, all right, so water is drained. You didn't see how much that came out, right? Hardly anything. Let's get these hoses off and let's get this pump out of the way. And I'm gonna try to look in the camera so you look and see what I say. So I'm gonna pull this hose off, that hose off, this hose off, that hose off, unplug that one. And this hose went to the bottom of the throttle body right here. There. Okay, you can come back. All right, look at this. Look at this. Now, this car gets run occasionally, but doesn't get run all the time. Look at this. This is antifreeze from Walmart. Like concentrate or whatever. Look at that. That is terrible. And that antifreeze isn't even 4 years old. That's like 3 years old. I think I did this Opti Spark in 21. Crazy. Stinks too, like, oh, ugh. Smells terrible. All right, 2 more hoses, right there, and plug right there. Now on this car, when you do a water pump, 2 of the bolts are blocked by something, if I remember correctly, which I can't stand. I think I had to use a smaller socket, like quarter drive, to get it in there. Let's see if I remember. All right, this is where the Impala gets annoying. Okay, so it's 3 10mm bolts that look like this. That holds on that little air pump that's underneath the coil. But if you see what they did right there, they took this bracket here and put it over a stud which covers the water pump, right? Because this is the water pump back there, and that's blocking it. So now I got to move this thing here, then I got to loosen these bolts in the head and loosen these guys up out of the way and unplug everything and move that bracket. That's what. And then this side here, I got the bolt out. It just had a little pipe that was in the way, so I just pried the pipe over a little bit and it worked out good. So I still got the 2 bolts holding the water pump on, and I still got the 2 bolts holding the water pump on, but I got to get that 3rd one out. Okay, so water pump's out. You can see the gaskets came out pretty good. I must have used a lot of RTV or something on them, so they didn't stick to the block. I'll just clean up the block gently. I left the drive shaft for the water pump on, and now we have 8mm sockets. Is it 8? Maybe 9. Nope. Maybe 10. Yeah, ding ding. Nope. Maybe a 3/8. 3/8. Okay, so 3/8. Good old GM switching up stuff. 10mm, 13 3/8. So let's get those 3 bolts out. One there. I'm not gonna hold you while I do this. Let me get this distributor out and then we'll come back. All right, we're out. Now, let's bring this over to this car. Okay, let's look at a distributor. Okay, and let's look at this distributor. Okay, so we're gonna clock them the same way. So we're gonna make it a 90 and a 90, right? So that basically they're looking the same, that's looking the same. And wow, that's pretty amazing that. Okay, so this is a 90 facing up and that's a 90 facing up, okay? And this is what came out. And look, this is fitted facing here, right here. This is facing right there. So basically I just gotta go like somewhere around there. You see how this goes like that, and then that goes like that. This just had to be moved a little bit. It was over here, now it's over here. Okay, so let's wipe down the timing cover. Throw some, we should throw a new seal in there, but I don't want to. Let's just take a quick look. Anybody that hasn't seen a timing cover on a 95, it does not have the crank sensor in it. Well, it's a 96, I believe. Okay, so here you have, I replaced that seal. That's a fairly new seal. Must have did that the last time I did a water pump. Did the distributor. So that means we're not changing it. Okay, so you have the cover, you got a seal, you got the shaft, and that's it. So let's clean up the water pump things where the distributor's out of the way, and then we'll put it back together. Okay, so you got a seal, you got the drive shaft for the water pump, and this is where the water pump gets bolted to, these 3 housings here and here. All right, not that bad. I've only got an hour into this. So all right, and just like that, all 3 bolts are the same size for the Opti Spark. So it's a 3/8 socket, and the bolt's probably that long. And you just got to make sure that you get your bottom of your Opti Spark, which is did I make a boo-boo? This guy was like that. This notch. That was the notch side. Let's just double check while we're having a part. All right, it's good I took it out, because now it should be correct. It's actually, it's crazy that it could sit in there incorrectly. You put the whole job back together and your car won't start. I would be so mad. But I took it out 2 or 3 times. You guys want to see me take it out one time together? This is the problem with is that I don't have an extra hand. Let's see. It's like, you know, I'm not a GoPro person, and you know what I mean? But you got to make sure that it clicks in and that these are flush and this is flush with the housing. Otherwise, it's not going to sit correctly. And here's the size of the bolts. They're all the same. So I'm 96.7% sure it's correct. So let's put you right here. Hopefully you don't fall in the water. Let's see. Can you guys see that? No. How about here? Oh yeah, right there. How about right there? Okay. So we're gonna pull it out. Right? It's gonna click. Okay. And it's gonna be in the correct area. It's gonna go in a thing. And it snaps. And it's in. And now I'm happy. Okay, one there, one on top here, and that long one on the bottom here, and they're all the same. And you can see that the distributor has a little bit of movement, right? So say you're tightening it. I don't think these are shouldered bolts, so makes me wonder when it gets tightened, like before I tighten it, right? No, it's not gonna change the timing. Okay, so it can only, it looks like the bolt, once it goes tight, it centers it. So what I did is I made a 90, and then I just turned a quarter turn. So once I get snug, I just turn a quarter turn and a little more till I'm happy. Here, quarter turn and just a tad. All right, we're in. We are in and we're tight. And maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. So Opti Spark. This guy here goes in there, plugs in the back. This guy here is the coil. Coil goes. So hard when you're not used to doing that. Okay, so we need the light closer. Let's get this water out of the way, because I've dropped my light in the water 3 times already. So let's get this out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to hold the light and the water together, and I'm going to hold you guys and the light. Okay. So what do we got here? We got number 1 is the curve. He's number 1, and that's burning my hand. Okay. I'm gonna have to do it without you guys. Hold on. And just like I suspected, you got to really pay attention when you put the wires back on. So the 1 and the 2 was the hard to see, and 3 and the 4 was okay. All right, so I'm gonna leave the driver's side off, 5, 3, 7, and 1 off until I put the water pump in. So let's put the water pump back together and get that bolted in, and then we will put that bracket on, and we will do the hose, the driver's side spark plugs after. Okay. All right, so a few minutes later, and we got the water pump back in, new gaskets, a little RTV around it. I never turned the camshaft connector to the water pumps. I never turned that, so it just slid back on, which was nice. And 4 bolts, 2 big ones here and 2 little ones there. The one with the stud goes on the driver's side, the one without the stud goes on the passenger side. And you see I got my wiring on this side on. Now I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my wiring on that side. So I'll have to move my light over to this side of the car, right there. Hopefully it doesn't fall, because all it's been doing is falling the whole time, because you know the magnetic doesn't want to listen. But let's get that little bracket on that stud, get the two little bolts, which are these guys, 15mm socket, back in the bracket, and then we'll put the wires back on. All right, so let's get this guy off. Get out of there. Put him over here. Okay, so new distributor in, wires back on, water pump back on, gaskets with silicone, bolts are tight. That air pump is in, 3 bolts. Put the bottom bolt in first so it supports it, because those rubber bushings can come out of that bracket. And then the gray plug on the coil pack goes on the left, black plug on the right. This green wire is from my aftermarket tack, which goes in the top right of the MSD. And then the ground wire is on, and the plug is plugged into the control module. And the distributor is plugged in there. And let's look on the other distributor just to double check. This is a plug, this is a vacuum line, and this is a vacuum line. 1, 2, and 3. And all the wires are plugged in. So technically, it should start up even though it doesn't have the air cleaner in it, because the mass airflow is plugged in. It might not run correctly, but it might run a little differently. So let's see if it sounds different. Oh, I disconnected the battery. Let's see if one of these work. Yes, I know you're supposed to disconnect the negative. You're right. Disconnect the negative, not the positive. I know, but I'm not a business. I'm not a teacher. You know, this is just some guy putting videos on YouTube. You only got like 13 people watching anyway, so what does it matter, right? Okay, so we're all live. Let's take this down, and we only have one nut left over, and that is for that air cleaner. Okay, so everybody is clear. Let's see what happens. Maybe it'll start up, maybe it won't. Maybe I did it correctly, maybe I didn't. All right, buddy. Oh, that's a good sign. Seriously? Stupid fucking, this has been broken ever since day 2. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I know the check engine light's gonna be on. All right, that's good. Popping means that it's firing. All right, let's get all that other stuff in, and then we'll let it, put some antifreeze in it, and we'll let it warm up. You okay, buddy? All right, let me put you on pause again.